Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, June 22nd, 2020. We are on the first day of the new trading week and the final hour of the trading day, my favorite time of the day to make my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. I say this because at the end of the day, you have the large financial institutions. They come in with size. They have very smart people on their staff, very good technology, the best information, and this is the time of the day in the final hour that they start making their buying and selling decisions. Then they start taking away the price control from the day traders and algorithms, which control the price during the day. So listen, thank you all so much for coming. I hope everybody had a nice weekend, had fun, and that you were safe, and maybe you were studying your charts a little bit, but I always look forward to seeing everybody come here. I think we have such a great group. I'm definitely grateful for that. So let's take a look. Dan is here. Hey, Dan, good to see you, my friend. Kamal is here. Hey, buddy. Good chatting with you earlier. Zach is here. Hi, Zach. I like that. The Gossett group. Oh, the GG. I like that. So, excuse me. So let's take a look, see what's happening here. Up day today, Dow Jones is up 166 points, up 0.64%. The NASDAQ is up 103.25 points, up 1%, and the S&P is up 21 points, up 0.68%, which is pretty good because Friday at the close, after the close, we had big sell-off there, and was a little concerned about what was going to happen with that on the open. But we were down over the weekend and in the future with the overnight futures. And then we rallied back up. So far, so good. All right. Well, hey, Miko is here. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Monday to Miko. Good seeing you. Frank is here. Hey, Frank. Good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here. Hope you had a good weekend as well. All right, so listen, this is the plan for today. First of all, we are going to go ahead and run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. Had a couple day trades today that I will share with you as well. Then we're going to get on to your positions that you've shared with me, having some really good moves on some of those, and so we'll go over those as well. After that, the midpoint of the podcast, we are going to do a few minutes on trader psychology, trader philosophy, good trading words of wisdom, and see if we can work on some things and outside of technicals and entries and exits, more the esoteric part, which is the most important part, which is the psychological. After that, I have already gone down through the watch list, and I've actually gone down through Kamal's scanner, and I have a few potentials that we can go over and take a look at that. I do have 3 requirements whenever I look to enter a new trade. First requirement is want to make sure that I have a confluence or a combination of indicators going on in at least one time frame, and ideally in multiple time frames. That is the best when you have a combination or confluence of indicators in multiple time frames. So we I went through the scanner, went through a few other things, and we'll take a look and see if there's some possibilities. But requirement number 2, want to make sure I have a good risk to reward. That is also always important. If you're going to risk $100 to the downside, you want to make at least 200 or more to the upside based upon valid support below you and realistic resistance above you. And step number 3, just make sure that you do not have too many of the same type of stocks, not too many technology stocks, not too many auto stocks. Make sure that you have a nice, you have diversification among your positions. And it's good to even get outside of equities like gold and oil and silver, just to get even more diversified. All right, so those are the 3 requirements. We're going to go through my candidates, and at the end of the day, if something looks good, I'll go ahead and take it after the market closes. If anybody has any questions for me, happy to answer them for you. Please just go ahead, put them in the chat. If you need any clarification on anything, please let me know. I'm happy to clarify. If there are any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the market closes, just put a star by it in the chat and I'll do my very best to get to it before the close of the market. And then after the market closes, if you have any new positions, any new entries or any new exits you'd like me to update on the board, please let me know. But please wait till the after the close so the pressure's off, the market's closed, and I can make sure that I do a good job of updating them correctly. All right, so that is the plan for today, everybody. So if you could hold tight, I am going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, Mohammed is here. Hi, Mohammed. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for coming by. David is here. Hey, David. Got your email, and I'm glad we had our Skype call, and I'm really looking forward to starting our lessons this coming Friday. So that will be great. David's been in the group for a while, and looking forward to working with him. Kamal says the scanner picked up. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Kamal, I'm going to go through those when I go through the, because I already have these down. So I'm going to go through those after the psychology section. Gary is here. Hey, Gary, good to see you, my friend. Hope you had a good weekend. Frank has a poem for us. Movies have made traders look greedy. You'd think they took food from the mouths of the needy. Fancy cars, bars so misunderstood. Don't expect a trader to be cast as Robin Hood. After all, it's Hollywood. That's true. They generally do make traders look out to be pretty nefarious, don't they? Movies have made traders look greedy. You'd think they took food from the mouths of the needy. Fancy cars, bars so misunderstood. Don't expect a trader to be cast as Robin Hood. After all, it's Hollywood. Boy, that's really good. Spot on, too. Let's take a look. Okay. Get those. Got that. Thank you, Frank. Really great. Really great. You know, I was looking at, I was looking day trade wise, I was looking here at VIX. See what we have here? We have a low with deep red bars before it. We've rallied. We've come back down. We've tested that low. No red bars. This is a double bottom with a bullish divergence. Even better because now it is a missing right shoulder, meaning that even though we're lower, we don't even have less red. We have no red. And then this next bar looks like it triggered, but then it went all the way back down. But now this looks somewhat interesting. I'm not going to take it because I'm doing the podcast right here, but we have this V1 to the downside. That's what triggers this little green bar here. So this looks like a very bearish bar, but then the next bar takes this high out. So what we have is we have a really bearish V1 to the downside that immediately gets reversed to the upside. And now it's coming down. Like I said, I'm not taking this trade, but I thought this was kind of interesting to show. Okay. Wiener Dog says, hey Karen, good afternoon, Greg and everyone. Hello, good to see you, Karen. I don't seem to have audio. Is it just me? Thanks. Got it back, sorry. Okay, that scares me. That scares me because I wouldn't know what to do. All right, well, let's get to it here. All right, I did take AGQ bunch of us took it. Kamal, Gary, Quad, Karen, and myself. We took AGQ on the 19th of June when we had the 520 cross under and back over. This is a good back tested approach to trading the Qs. I bought it here at 27.79, moved up nicely today, although it's off of its highs. I did hit one profit target here at 28.49. I'm a little concerned about what this is about this 200-day moving average here. If it closes under the 200, I'm going to go ahead and just take off half. I look at that as a danger signal, a little bit of a safety. I want to take a safety off. So, it's still under the 520 crossover, which is good, but I'm concerned that it's closing below its open, and I'm concerned that it might close below the 200-day. So, if it does close below the 200-day, I will take half of my position off, even though the 5 is still over the 20. With the remaining amount, if the price closes below both the 5 and the 20, I'll take half. And then when the 5 crosses under the 20, I'll take half as well. To the upside, just like I did today, hit one profit target. If it keeps going up, I will continue to phase out at my predetermined profit targets like I always do. But anyway, so far so good. Glad I hit that one profit target there. All right, well, this is the big one of the day, everybody. Quad, Kamal, Miko, Karen, Pinsky Company, and myself, we all took Upwork. Now, this is one of the ones that was identified from Kamal's scanner. Now, just remember, this one worked out really well. It doesn't mean that everyone from the scanner that has a good score is going to do this, right? It could go down just as much, just like any other stock. But, with the scanner, what it does is it measures confluences and combination of an indicator on multiple time frames, and it kicks out the best one. So I bought here 1248, had a higher low V1. Here's the V1, here's bar 1, bar 2 washes out bar 1, closes above bar 1's close. It was higher than this low. Friday it went up. I hit one profit target, I believe, then reversed, but I kept it because it didn't close below the stop. Today up 9.07%. I hit all 3 of my normal profit targets, and then it was up so high I hit a 4th profit target up here at 13.41. So up 9.23%. Fantastic trade. It's at a 63.55 RSI. So it still has some room to go up until before it becomes overbought. So anyway, really great trade on this one. Gold. Okay. So I took 2 positions in gold. Same crossover, had the 520 crossover. I bought half of my position here. It was a big move up, so I only wanted to buy half. Then it pulled back the next day. I bought down here the other half, put my average price here at about 162.78. Then it went down sideways. In the last couple days, it's had a nice up move and did hit one profit target up there today. So average price here is 162.78. Right now it's at 165.25. So this one's good. As long as it keeps moving up here, I am going to be continue to scale out. Has moved more than 1 ATR for my entry. So if I do have a close below the previous day's lows on crossovers, I will get out of half of my position. Okay, SPY. So in case we have some new viewers today, I do want to explain to them why I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight, I take the overnight risk, and I sell first thing the next morning. This is based upon, not from technicals, but on a long-term back-tested study from Lizanne Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Since 1993, 2 approaches here with 2 different outcomes. First approach, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close. If you use this every day since 1993, you'd have returned a negative 13.9% return. However, if you did the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold overnight, take the overnight risk, sell first thing the next morning, positive 634.2% return. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That is true. It may never work again in the history of the world, but so far since 1993, it has worked very well. Over time, the equity curve, all it has done is gone up, 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 but there are some significant drawdowns. So, if you are using this, make sure you use a very small fraction of your account to do this with every buying it at night and selling in the morning. I use a maximum of 10% position size. So if I had $100,000, I wouldn't allocate more than $10,000 to the overnight SPY trade. So it's like I own the SPY all the time. It's just that I own it overnight, not during the day. So I did take the last SPY trade yesterday at the Friday at the close at 108.64, and did take a very small loss here to 107.95. So took a small loss here, but the last week was pretty big. Bought here, sold here, bought here, sold here, bought here, small loss, bought here. Nice big loss, but then did take a little bit of a loss today. But I've had some big losses too, like from here to here, then right back with a huge gain, and then right back with a huge loss, and right back with a huge gain. But that's why it's important to position size correctly, because this is a pretty wild approach, and it is very streaky. 2019 was fantastic for me. 2020 started out horribly. My gosh, through the situation that we had, huge overnight losses, but in the last couple months, it's come back about 70% of the losses. So I'm grateful for that, but I look at this as a long-term approach. All right, oil. All right, so I did buy oil Friday at 28.25. Right now it's up 28.99. It's up 2.73%. I bought this though on the weekly. So my profit targets are much further out, and my position sizes are much smaller because I take my maximum loss, divide the 2 ATR into it. So on a weekly, this number is always going to be larger, and therefore it's going to make your position smaller. But I bought it. We went under 30, over 30, and we had a V1. So this trade is going to take a while for me to play out because it's on the weekly bars instead of the daily bars, but still up 2.69% today. So happy with that. Okay, UUP. Okay, Gary, Karen, Andrea, and myself are still in UUP. This hasn't been a big mover, but it was a pretty good setup, under 30, over 30. False breakout to the downside from here and a V2. Bought it here at 28.618. Moved up, hit some profit targets here, hit some here, here, here. And I believe here, I can't remember now, it's more than 1 ATR for my entry. So it looks like we're going to close below the previous day's low. So I'm going to go ahead and just lock in profits on this one. Walmart. Okay, so Frank and Kamal and myself are in Walmart. Friday we had a V2, we had a higher low V2, we had a rejection of the 200-day, bought it here at 120.01, and today 2 profit targets to the upside, up 1.48%, so pretty good. It's holding the 50 RSI right now. If it closed under the 50, I would get out of half and then sell the other half if we get a close below the previous day's low. So really happy with that. And that's it, other than day trades. So had 2 of them, winners on 1, losers on 1. That's how it goes. I did short IWM here when we had the V2 to the downside, a lower high. See how this is lower than this? Shorted it here at 142.06. Kind of hung out, and then it went my way, it went back up against me. I got out here when we rejected the 200-day. So I shorted at 142.06 and got out at 141.75. So that one was good. And then I was on with Kamal when I saw this. I really like this setup. We had a rejection of the 200-day. We had a V2. We had a false breakout of this range. Bought it here at 141.78. Moved up nicely, and then it just puked. It just came down hard. I didn't like the look of it. I got out a little earlier. Gave me a little better price. I got out at 141.66. So I got in at 141.78, out at 141.66. So 12 cents, not too bad. Then I told Kamal, I don't like the look of that bar. Nothing good can come of that. And it just took right off. It just took right off, but now it's come back down. So, okay, so those are those trades. Now, let's get on to the important trades, which are yours. Okay, here's Kamal. Kamal had a beautiful trade here. Bullish engulfing, V1, false breakout to the downside. Bought it here at 592 back on the 16th. Moved up a little, down a little, had a huge, beautiful up bar yesterday. Fantastic. And then today it's down, but it is holding the halfway of this big bar. And one thing I do want to point out, see the volume on the upside? See how much it is? Even though we're down today, do you see how the volume's low? So that just means people are taking some profits. It doesn't necessarily mean that people are distributing or dumping this stock. If you saw the stock come down and the volume was just as high, that would be concerning. It really would. But in this case, we've come down, we've held halfway, volume's low. So that's a pretty good sign. Snap. Okay, so Frank has been in this trade a bit and it's done really well. This is Snap. He bought it at 1875. All it's done is move up, had some normal pullbacks today, up 2.16% off of its high, but still fantastic trade, Frank. CRM, Glenn bought CRM on the 18th of June at 185.11. Intraday moved up nicely, moved up and then came back down a little bit, but up 2.18% today. So very nice. Alibaba. All right. So this is Frank. I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, this is Frank. All right. This is a trade a bunch of us took. It was a good setup. Strong up move. Came into the value zone. Sideways motion. Bullish engulfing bar. 520 crossover. Moved up nicely for everybody. I think I got out here, moved sideways, came up, moved back down. Frank's the sole survivor on this one. And, oh, this one was up earlier. Now it's down 4 cents. But anyway, still a really nice trade. Dexcom, Glenn bought Dexcom intraday back here on the 15th. 375.16. It's moved up, 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 up. Today we have a V1 to the downside. And it's down 0.93%. TLT, Frank. All right, Frank's the sole survivor here. We all bought TLT back here. We went under 30, over 30, rejected the 6 ATR channel, bought it about 156.10. It moved up, just went straight up for us. I got out here with the close below the previous day's low. Then it just kind of moves sideways and it's down 2 cents today. But anyway, still nice trade, Frank. MDB, Kamal with a nice trade. V1, false breakout to the downside, bought here at 201.70. Just moved up, 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 up. Had one little down day Friday and then up 3.6% today. So fantastic. USO, okay, I talked about USO. I bought that on the weekly. Frank bought this on the daily. Return to value, bullish engulfing V1. Bought it here at 26.97, and all it's done is go up 2.57%. All right, Glenn had a beautiful short. Remember he was telling us about his short on Norwegian cruise lines when we lost the 50 RSI and lost the 20 and lost the 5. Shorted it at 1943, down 7.3% today. So fantastic, Glenn. XLE, Evan bought XLE on Friday at 173. That is down about 1.14% today. Spice, ugh. All right. Pinsky and Company bought this, and I think Kamal did as well. It right here at 1531, it initially gapped up, reversed. I think Kamal got out of it here, which, you know, that's hard when you get out and then it just goes up the next day. But listen, that happens to everyone. But Pinsky, very nice trade, up 13.8% today. DDOG, Frank bought a little DDOG Datadog at 84.90, up today, 1.27%, up off of its highs for sure, but still up nicely. And then BMY, Kamal took BMY with a higher low V2 at 56.34. Today it's up 1.79%. So all in all, really, really good trades, everybody, all the way around. All the way around, some really good trades. Okay, remember I was telling you about that VIX 5-minute? Look at that, everybody. That was the time to buy, wasn't it? That was the time to buy. Dang it. Like I said, I wasn't going to trade that because I was doing the podcast. But again, we have a low, a lot of sideways motion. We come down, we poke our head to the new downside, break up. This is where I would have bought it, where we have this V1 that looks bearish that reverses right back up with an up move. Wow. I knew I liked that. And that would have been the place right here. You could have bought it here also, but that would have been the place. Holy smokes. Okay, let me make an adjustment. Okay, good enough. Aw, AGQ went negative. How dare you? How dare you, AGQ? But again, this is why I like to hit profit targets, because it takes some chips off the table at higher prices. If this does close under the 200 today, I'm going to get out of half. You know, I call this a safety. This is a V1 to the downside, or it's a rejection of the 200. It's a rejection of the 250. The cross is still in place, but what I like with 50-50s is that if I get out of half here and it goes up, well, I'm glad I still have half. If I get out of half here and it goes down, I'm glad I got out of half. It's the only thing in trading that's kind of a win-win situation, honestly. Okay, Upwork still doing really well. Hit the 4 profit targets. Gold hit the 1 profit target. Don't like the look of this bar, but I like it better than silver because it didn't reject the 200. SPY. Oh, I better put my SPY trade in. I haven't even put my SPY trade in. Just putting the order in to buy it at the close so I don't have to worry about it. Okay, that's in, that's all in. Make sure that's in correctly. Yeah, good. Okay. Hey, Steve Burns here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you, my friend. Always an honor and always a real privilege to have Steve join us here. I always feel so lucky when Steve's in the chat with us. I'm always excited to see him, and I'm sure everyone else is. Thank you, Steve. Steve says the stock market is not being accumulated or distributed here. It's just being traded back and forth, going nowhere for the past few weeks. Yeah. You know, Steve, I was telling Kamal earlier, I read an article this weekend that said that the net short position is the highest it's been in 8 years from large financial institutions. So interesting. Doesn't mean that it can't keep going up, right? It can squeeze the large financial institutions as well. But thank you so much, Steve, for your insight there and for visiting. Mustafa, hey, Mustafa says hi, good to see you. When will BNP or TSX ever bounce back? Well, let me look into my crystal ball. BNP. I don't have a BNP, Mustafa, on my charts. It doesn't pull anything up. Let's look at TSX. I don't have TSX either. Yeah, I don't have TSX. Sorry, Mustafa. I tried BNP and TSX and neither of them pulled up on my chart. JO has a V2 today. Yes, it does. It has a higher low V2. Did gap, but it filled a lot of it back into the value zone. It's not bad. MACD crossover as well. Mustafa said, sorry, did I miss your answer? I tried looking for those two symbols, Mustafa, the BNP and TSX, and they don't pull up on my chart. I can't see them. Do you have any penny suggestions for TSX? Oh, it's a penny stock. You know, Mustafa, I do not trade penny stocks. I apologize, and I can't even pull them up on my charts. But I tend to stay away from penny stocks. Oh, it's on the Toronto. Okay, yep. I can't pull those up. Sorry, Mustafa. Steve Burns says, yes, highest short position in almost 9 years. Oh, I thought I read 8. I tweeted the chart on that, and usually the market goes sideways for months before the next big uptrend with that much short interest. Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right, I'm going to take a look here intraday on the bigs and see what's happening. You see Apple, we're way off of our high. Now we're coming into the value zone. Now we're moving sideways. If I was looking to trade Apple intraday, I would look for a V1 or a V2 here. This is a nice pullback sideways motion. I would just need a trigger. What do I think of EQMO clouds? You know, I don't know. I've never used them. I know a lot of people use them, and just like any indicator, I mean, there's no magic in any one indicator. It just gives you a good construct for a trade, so that, you know, I believe that indicator, the Ikimoku clouds, I believe it's essentially what I trade as a return to value zone. You know, it's a pullback in an uptrend. But, you know, I think any indicator can be helpful. There's not one magic indicator, but, you know, pullbacks into values or pullbacks after a nice trend are generally a good place to buy, and I believe that's what that indicator does. Hey, John, good to see you, buddy. Let's take a look. SMG. Well, it's a V1. It's a false breakout from this previous low. So it's not all too bad. I mean, today we did reject this previous low and we did trigger a V1. The only thing when I look at this is, you know, I have the 50-day moving average right here. It's at an RSI of 43, which is, you know, kind of bearish neutral. I'd like this a lot better if it happened at a 30 RSI. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly I like, it's pulled back into value. Monthly is definitely in an uptrend, which is good. Weekly has a nice pullback into value, which is positive. And daily, yeah, I mean, listen, if I was wrong, I would just get out here. See halfway of the washout bar? If I was wrong, hopefully I could be wrong small. You do have the 50 RSI up here, or the 50-day moving average up here, which just looking at this chart tells me that it's more of a one-to-one scenario. I would honestly, I would not take this. I would like it better if the RSI was over 50 or if we were down into the 30 RSI range when this happened. But that's just my opinion. Okay. So listen, before we go down through the candidates for today for the end of day trade, as you know, I do like to spend a few minutes on trader psychology, trader philosophy, good trading words of wisdom. There are a lot of good channels out there on Twitter and on Facebook. that spend a lot of time and effort, nice enough to put out these good sayings for us to read. And they're always very good and very important if you just read them and internalize them. And this is from our very good friend, Steve Burns. This is Steve Burns over on Facebook. But let's take a look and see what Steve has to say today. Be careful what you believe because it creates your inner world and your future reality. Isn't that true? Be careful what you believe because it creates your inner world and your future reality. And in regards to trading, if you believe that you're not a good trader, if you believe that, I won't be able to make a profit, or I'll never be a professional trader, or I'll never make, a living as a trader, if you deep down believe that, well, you're creating your inner world and really your future reality. But if you can really believe that you're a good trader and you can honestly believe that you are going to be profitable, trading over the long term, if you really believe that, it is going to make a difference. It's the same with athletes or traders or anyone. You have to believe. You really have to believe. Now, you can't just believe and not do anything. You have to believe. You have to do your charting. You have to follow your plan, right? You have to put the work in. It's not just believing and it magically happens like I Dream a Genie, right? You really have to believe, but you really have to put the work in. Have you ever started trading, a methodology, and after a while you realize, hey, this really works, and yeah, I lose some, but I win some, and I really think, you get that little spark, you get that little feeling of, I really think this particular pattern or this particular strategy works for me, and you'll feel it inside that you're like, yeah, this really could work for me. Well, find the pattern, find the strategy that works for you. But thank you, Steve Burns, one more time, because it's important. Be careful what you believe because it creates your inner world and your future reality. So think positive. Don't, be careful of things that you say. Don't go, oh, it went up, figures, that always happens to me. Or, oh man, you know what I mean? The market's up today, my stocks are down, right? You've heard people say that. You've heard yourself say that. Just try to be positive. And it takes work to be positive. It does. But don't try to get yourself into a shame spiral. Just try to get yourself, if something bad happens, try to find the bright side. Try to think of it as the glass half full and just stay positive, because then it's going to become a habit, and the brighter your outlook and the brighter your what's the word? Well, I guess outlook, right? Having a positive attitude really does help. So anyway, thank you, Steve Burns, for that, and I hope that was helpful for everyone. Frank says, back in the day, a friend and former floor trader suggested 2 penny stocks that I turned down, Apple and Panera Bread. Oh, Frank, brutal. Well, you never know. You never know which one's going to become the next one. Wow, what a story. Mustafa says, I'm new to trading. What percent do you aim for? 5 to 10%? My goal every year, Mustafa, is somewhere between 12 and 18%. And I hit that more than 50% of the time. That's my goal. It doesn't sound very sexy, or, it's not like 200 or 300% a year kind of a thing. You can make 300% a year, but of course, to make those kind of returns, you have to have a lot of risk as well. That's just what it is. So somewhere between 12 and 18% is my goal every year. Daily? No. Yearly. I know it doesn't sound very sexy, right? No, not daily. That would be great, but no, that's yearly. All right. Kamal says, I am sure they came up a lot more in the following years and months. Yes, after they were penny stocks for sure. Mustafa says, so half a parcel daily on a good day. I'm not sure what a parcel is, Mustafa. I'm not sure what a parcel means in regards to trading. Frank says, my rules say no penny stocks, Kamal. Yeah. I think more people have lost money trading penny stocks than they've ever made. I would have to imagine, right? Okay, so listen, let's go through. I went through my watch list. I really didn't see anything that was interesting whatsoever, other than some of the ones that I already have. So Kamal was nice enough to send over the results of the scanner today, and let's take a look. Mustafa said percent. A 0.5% a day. No, I wouldn't even say that. I think there's 220 trading days in the year, so that would give you 110% return, and I've never had 110% return. So it's not even that. Kamal says, Frank, my rules don't have penny stocks. My eyes just glaze over. All right, first on deck, had a good score here, was Pets. Had a good score on both the daily and the weekly. But again, just because this has a good score, these stocks are volatile. You have to be very, very careful. Could have the best score in the world and it could go down, right? So as always with any stock, make sure it makes sense to you. Make sure you're position sizing correctly. Make sure you have a total plan. So here we go on Pets. We have a V2. It's a higher low V2. We do have a lower high, and it didn't wash out the lower low, which I normally wouldn't take this. However, we did have a 520 crossover, which backtest well on Pets. And we also went under 50, over 50. So we had a V2, under 50, over 50, and a 520 cross under and cross back over. It is in the value zone, which I do like here. It's above 50 RSI, which is also good. Let's take a, so it does score pretty high with the V2 cross under, cross over, 520 crossover in the value zone, which is always good. Weekly, we were much higher. We pulled back. We have held support at the 1 ATR channel. It's 65 RSI, which is definitely a little high RSI wise, but I do like that it's holding support of the 1 ATR channel, but on the daily looks pretty good. So I do kind of like this. Kamal and I were talking about this earlier when it was at the high, and I was like, ooh, it's a little high up there, but it has pulled back. If we look intraday here, you can see this was just a one-way train. But I would love if it were to pull back before the end of the day and could get it somewhere here in the 35 range. But, that might be too much to ask. We'll see. But I do kind of like Pets here. Okay, BMY. Kamal did take this. He took this on Friday with the higher low V1. Good entry there for Kamal. I don't think I would take it right here at this point. It would reduce the risk to reward dramatically. Kamal here is probably going to be looking and see how it reacts around the 200-day, but I wouldn't take this here. The time to have taken it would have been Friday. Look at this Apple trade, everybody. That was the place to buy it, right? The pullback into the value zone. Yep, sure was. Team has a 520 cross under, cross back over, and a V2, which is pretty good. It's a little high up here, the 1 ATR channel. This concerns me a little bit. Let's switch over to the daily and see what that looks like. Daily looks like it had a V1 last week. It's above the 5 EMA, which is good. It's a 65.83, still a little high there on the RSI on the weekly, but not bad. I like pets better. Buying right up here. We're at the 1 ATR channel, which basically means it's one standard deviation away from the mean. Doesn't mean it can't go higher, often does, but every time you get to a standard deviation, there's some built-in resistance, and you can see that's exactly what happened here. Disney, well, we have a higher low V1. I don't particularly like Friday's bar, this big down bar that was we're right up against. Yes, we do have a V1. Yes, we did reject the 100-day moving average. The V1 is a higher low. It's higher than this low, which is good. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly does have support of the 200 week below it, which is good. So I like the weekly a lot on here. We're at a 48.08 RSI, so we did lose the 50 RSI on the weekly back here. You know, it's up today, but I don't think I would take it up against this big bar here. Utilities does have a V1 and a false breakout to the downside. All right, here's the previous low. Today we tested that low, bounced back up. We also went below Friday's low. Looks like we're triggering a V1. This one to me looks like it could fall very easily to the downside if we don't have follow through. And I don't like the big down bar larger than 1 ATR. I don't like that we have the 50-day moving average above us. We have the 50 RSI above us. On the weekly, better on the weekly, honestly, because it looks like we have a higher low V1 or very close to it on the weekly in the value zone, which is good. But I don't think I would buy this one. I don't think I'm going to buy this one. Uber. Well, we tested the 200-day moving average. We rallied into the value zone. We did bounce off the 200-day moving average today and also have a higher low V1. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly's pulling back into value. I kind of like the weekly on that for sure. What's scaring me is this big bar down. We still have the 1 ATR channel above us as resistance. So all in all, I really think that pets is the best setup for me today. It's a little high on the weekly, but we do have an under 50, over 50. We have the 520 cross under back over. We have the V2. MACD is very close to crossing, which means that if it does go up tomorrow, it will probably cross over, which will be good because that will, to me, will be another group of buyers coming in with the MACD crossover. So looks like to me, pets is the entry that I'm going to take. So let me head over here, take a look at current positions. AGQ, looks like I am going to have to sell half of my AGQ. We still have the 520 crossover, but looks like we are going to lose the 200-day moving average. So glad that it hit the one profit target here, but I don't like the V1 to the downside or in the rejection of the 200-day moving average. So I'm going to stay with the crossover, but at only half size. So I'm going to take 50% off if it closes under. Upwork is just doing really, really well, up 9.48%, 4 profit targets. Nothing wrong with that one. Gold hit the one profit target there, profitable, very happy with that. I will keep that one as is. SPY, of course, had the overnight loss with the SPY trade, but I will be buying this at the close automatically. USO doing really nice, up 2.69% today, so happy with that. UUP, looks like I'm going to have to get out of UUP with a close under the previous day's low. Walmart, only thing I'm going to have to watch here on Walmart. I mean, it's been nice, 2 profit targets, but I'm going to see if it loses that 50-day moving average at the end of the day. 50 RSI at the end of the day. And I don't have IWM. So right now, this second, I have to watch Walmart with a close under the 50 RSI. If it does, I will get out of half. AGQ, if it closes under 200, I will get out of half. Frank says, are you being influenced by Katie to buy pets? Maybe a little. Maybe a little. I know how much I spend on pet stuff for sure. John says, SPY was ex-dividend. Oh, was it? Oh, it was. Hey, I did better than I thought. Because I got in at 308.64. I got out at 307.95. But I got a $1.36 dividend. So that looks like I made money overall on that. Wow, fantastic. Boy, look at that Apple trade right into value and bounced right on up. Okay, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of half of my AGQ position. Okay. And going to have to watch Walmart here for the 50 RSI. Right now it's at 50.42. And I also have to get rid of UUP. Let me take a look at pets intraday here, see what's happening. Ooh, it did bounce there. Kamal says QLYS. Yeah, higher low V1. I'd like it better if it was in the value zone and it wasn't so close to 50 RSI. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, I like the weekly. Monthly uptrend, weekly pull back into the value zone, which is good. Trying to trigger a V2 on the weekly. I don't think it's there yet. This just doesn't, this one just doesn't strike me as like a trade, to be honest with you. Frank says there's something natural about taking half off on Walmart. Yeah, I don't disagree, but I am not going to take half unless we lose the 50 RSI. All right, 5 minutes left. So I think that VIX gave everything back. Pretty close, but now we're back in the value zone. Brett Egan, hey Gossett, do you remember me on Taylor Canyon Trail? Yes, I do, Brett. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate that. I was up hiking, and Brett was kind of looking like he might be a little bit lost and looking for the way back to his car. He was visiting the town and up on the trails, and we talked a little bit about trading, and I told him I had a channel, and he's here. Brett, thank you so much for coming by. Good to see you, and thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you remembered it. I'm glad you remembered it. Fantastic. If there's anything I can help you with, Brett, you just please let me know, okay? All right, 2 minutes to go. I am going to go ahead and buy my pets. Okay, pets is done. Walmart looks like it's holding above 50 RSI. I'm selling my UUP. And it looks like Walmart's going to be okay, so I think I have everything taken care of. Other than maybe hitting one more profit target on Upwork. I don't think it's quite there, and I don't have enough time to put it in. Okay, that's that. Wow. Really good day today. Fantastic day. Just a quick little recap. Upwork up 10.7% for Quad, Kamal, Miko, Karen, Pinsky, and myself. Very happy with that for profit targets. Gold hit the one profit target at 0.64. SPY had the little overnight loss, but I didn't realize I did get a dividend, so that actually turned out to be a winning trade. USO up 2.69% today. UUP, I did get out with the close under the previous day's low, but still a profitable trade. Walmart did two profit targets up 1.53% and held to 70, so that's good. And then AGQ did hit one profit target, but I did get out of half of the position because it rejected the 200-day moving average. So I just took a safety on that, is a different way to say that. So listen, we're going to go I'm going to tell you what I got into the new positions at, what the new entry prices are. And then if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer it. But before I do, I'm just going to put in my quick little daily plug like I always do and let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I have been trading for 24 years. I have studied with some one-on-one, which I think is the best way to learn something, but I have studied one-on-one with Dr. Alexander Elder, our really good friend Steve Burns, Carrie Lavorne, Larry Williams, and the course I teach, basically I teach everything I've learned over 24 years and everything I've learned from my teachers and mentors, the gentleman that I just discussed. So it's a really good course. It's an intensive course. It's long. It's 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours, so it's a total of 15 hours. But learning one-on-one, I think, is the best way to learn. That's the best way I learn, and that's why when I started offering these lessons, that's how I wanted to do it, right? It's time consuming. I try to charge a fair, an affordable amount. It is $1,000. I think it's worth every penny. But, if you're interested in studying with me and doing this, please let me know. Reach out to me. You can send me a message, an email, which is in the description of this video, or you can also send me a direct message on Twitter at Gossett Trading. And if you do contact me, what I'll ask you to do is, for us to set up a Skype call. The Skype call's free. There's no obligation. There's no sales pressure. I promise you. I just want to ask you some questions about your trading, your goals, your challenges. You can ask me any questions about the course and about me. And like I said, there's no sales pressure. That's not what this call is about. It's just to see if we're a good fit. I won't even ask you, hey, do you want to take the course when we're on? I'll just say, listen, nice talking to you. Hope I answered your questions. If you're interested in the future, just send me an email back if you're interested. And if not, it was nice knowing you. So, and it looks like David and I are going to start this coming Friday for our lesson. So I'm looking forward to that. And then, secondly, if you liked today's podcast, if you found it helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps the channel grow, helps bring more people to the channel. And there's a lot of people out there that need help with trading. They really do. It would do them a lot of good just to learn some good trading principles about good risk to reward, confluence of signals, having a plan, psychology. So if you could hit the thumbs up button for me, I would really certainly appreciate that. All right, so let's take a look here and see where I got filled on all this stuff. 310.62 and pets was 37.06. Okay, so new entry on pets. 37.06, up a massive 2 cents already. Fantastic. And then the new SPY entry was 310.62, up a massive 4 cents already. And thank you for letting me know that, John, about, it's right here. I didn't even see it. Yes, dividends. So that actually ends up being a win. Okay. Frank also took pets. Okay. It goes well with my DDOG. This is true. Are you out driving today, Brett? Are you listening while you're driving? David says, I'm in Upwork as well. All right. Yeah, we don't want to leave you off of that one for sure. Gotcha. Very nice, David. Kamal says, I bought pets. Okay. I'm pretty sure I have your name. Yeah, I do. I do. I have Kamal and Karen. Oh, an XLU. Okay. I got you on XLU, Kamal. Mohammed says, Greg, suppose my trigger was a V1. Several days later, I see a moving average crossover. Does it make sense to switch the exit trigger to move the average crossover? That is a very good question, Mohammed. That's an excellent question. That is something in my lessons that I always present to my students. Yes, you can definitely do that. If you have a V1 and it worked out well for you, and then you get a crossover, you can switch to the crossover for you, because if you were not in it, then you would have been in with the crossover anyway. So you don't have to. You can stay just with your plan with the V1, but if you choose to and you want to, go for maybe a little bit more upside possibilities, yes, you can switch your exit trigger to the cross under. Very, very good question, Mohammed. Evan says, close my position on XLV due to closing below 50 RSI. Good. I mean, look, it was a little bit of a losing trade for Evan, but listen, what did he do? He followed his plan. He got out quickly when he was wrong, right? He kept the weeds out of his flower garden, and his flower garden means when he has a negative position, that's a weed. He wants to keep it, free of weeds and let the winning trades or the flowers or the vegetables grow. So, we're all going to take a lot of losses, many, many, many losses. But the key is getting out of those losses quickly. Brett says, I'm done driving for the day. Okay. Where are you, by the way? Thanks, Mohammed. You're welcome. Hope that makes sense. But yes, that comes up very, very often in, when I do my lessons, we go through charts all the time, day by day by day by day by day. We just go through anything here. Well, it's return to value. Anything there? No. And then we might have a V1 or a V2, and then a crossover might happen and go, okay, now what do you do? Now you have a new signal. You can stay with the same original signal, or you can go back and switch over to the next one. So fantastic day today, really fantastic. UUP was down, AGQ was nicely up, it reversed back, but that's how it goes. But I mean, Upwork was phenomenal, phenomenal. Brett says, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, about to start my home time on the 25th. Oh, good. Good. Man, I'm really glad that you checked in, Brett, and it was nice to have you here in Utah up on the trails. I always tell everybody, every day I go hiking, and that's where I met Brett. I guess it's obvious that you found what we were looking for. Frank says backtesting puts crossovers on steroids. It helps. SPY dividend was at the end of today or Friday. think it was Friday. I'm not sure now. I don't look at dividends very often. No, you know what it was? You had to buy it Thursday to get the dividend here. You had to buy here to get the dividend here. So yeah, so that was a loss today. But it was a nice gain on Friday plus the dividend. Brett says, LOL, yes, I did. Thank you for your help that day. I really appreciate it. You are welcome. And speaking of helping out, you know, I tell everybody, please go out and try to do something nice for somebody every day. Just, you know, a hi, hello, or, you know, just be pleasant. Well, that day, Brett looked lost, and so that's why I wanted to try to help him find where he was going. So, all right. Any other questions? Any other updates on the board? If so, please let me know. Karen says, have a great day, y'all. Thank you, Karen. Hope you have a nice day, ma'am, as well. So SPY dividend was the end of the day or Friday. Yeah, it was. The dividend is on 6/19. So you had to own it Thursday to get it on Friday. So if you did own it Thursday night, you will be getting a dividend. All right. Oh, Brett says, so what kind of trading do you do? Intraday, scalp, buy and hold? Brett, I'm generally, I guess, what you would consider a swing trader. You know, I try to buy dips, sell them when they go back up. I buy deep dip buys, you know, if we go under 30, over 30. But, you know, if I'm right on a trade, I might hold it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. If I'm wrong on a trade, I'm usually out in a day or two. I do some intraday trading almost every day, but basically what I teach here, you know, and what I teach in my lessons is basically swing trading, maybe some trend trading with crossover. So it's kind of a mix, but I wouldn't call it scalping. It's not buy and hold. What it's really considered is trend trading or swing trading. All right, everybody. Well, listen, thank you for coming today. Appreciate it. Really glad we had a great day, and always nice when there's green on the board, right? So, like I mentioned before, try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just say hello, smile, be pleasant, help them out if you can. It's 100% scientifically proven to help your trading if you do that. This is based upon my own study, which means nothing. But it sounds good, right? Okay, if you can, remember to hit the thumbs up button. Have a good rest of your day, and congratulations on a good day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks, Zach. All right, appreciate it. Take care now, everybody. Bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.